Hello again. I am back at drawing cringy stuff once again. Right now, posting cringy stuff, you know what I mean. Anyways, right now I am drawing three of my comfort characters, Hu Tao, Gojo, and Dazai. Yes, I'm a nerd. I want to post more often on here, so I'm just gonna probably post a lot of speed paints if I'm doing a TikTok video or I'm just drawing in general. Today I thought I would post about bus stories because I was talking to my friends recently about bus and the bus, and we had a lot of stories. The public bus in our school, at least, is kind of a little wild. I have quite a few stories, so it may be a little bit inappropriate, but you know. So one of the stories is I remember I had this elementary school bus. I just moved recently, and I was in this elementary school bus, and our school bus driver was wild, I will tell you. He like didn't follow it. One time I was getting on the bus and he had like an ankle bracelet, so he like got in trouble with the cops or something. Insane. But I remember on like the last day of 4th grade, I believe, this bus driver was getting fired and this was like his last time ever like driving in our school. We got revealed, like, no shame to this man, like, I loved him, he was really decent, but he's like almost cussed on the bus. He allowed us to walk around and we're like a bunch of elementary school kids, right? So he was like basically crying as one of my friends, let's say yeah, person A, she went up and she explained his story, and it was kind of sad, and I feel bad because, you know, his mother's like sick and has cancer. And I remember I was just sitting there, I'm like, wow. At that time, I was like, the school's evil. They shouldn't even be firing him. Like, he's in need, right? But it's also like he's gotten arrested. He, like, at times, I'm sure he was probably high while driving us. So, yeah, not okay, but I feel bad for him, and I really do hope, like, that guy, I hope he is doing well, and I hope his mother's better, of course. But yeah, that's like one of the stories. So I have another one that was like last year, right? I'm chilling out on the bus. My friend like gets off the first stop because yeah, sadly, and I'm like playing on my phone or whatever, and this girl next to me, she's always been kind of crazy. I think I have like a couple stories I could tell you about her. She almost threw a chair at someone, but she's like, "Hey, Iona," and I like look over and she's like bragging about how she had concrete. To basically the 8th graders and the 7th graders, and I was in 7th grade at the time, of course. And yeah, so she was like freaking out then because later she's like, "Well, I have concrete and I could actually genuinely get in trouble maybe because it does look like crack, not gonna lie." So she's like, Iona, will you take this for me? Will you like cover me for this?" And I'm like, "Girl, you think I will cover you? Like, I don't want my parents to think I'm a drug child." Like, what? So, you know, we were talking a bit, and we don't really know each other that well, but we had a nice conversation, and like about drugs for some odd reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason she seemed like she looked up to me after I said like, "Yeah, I don't think I'll ever take drugs." um, if I did, I don't know, but honestly, she was just like trying to also like convince me, and I in the end I never took the concrete. But you know what she did do? She opened the bag and white powder just went everywhere, and I kind of freaked out because it was like flying over to my area. I'm like, "Bro, what the hell are you doing?" And then the 8th graders were laughing and I'm not. um yeah, anyways, she did take the bag and she's like, "Okay, you promise you won't tell on me, right, Iona?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I won't tell on you, girl." And you know, she left. That girl's in a boarding school now, but yeah, she was actually really decent and funny. We had some really decent conversations and I never got on her bad side. Luckily, yeah. Another story I would have to say was the raccoon story. This like happened 3 weeks ago. A raccoon got on our bus and like took a big fat dumpy somewhere, and it was because kids were like stuffing like candy and stuff in like the corner of the seats, which is disgusting. Don't eat on the bus. That's what I'm going to say. And a raccoon got on and took a big fat dump, and yeah, we got yelled at. That was not fun. I do have some other stories. Like one time my bus was like chilling out in this car. I don't know what happened. It like drove and hit into us, like scratched the side of the bus as well. And the cops were like tailing us for a bit because it looks like we did it. And I'm like 80% sure the bus driver did accidentally hit that car. And the cops tailed us, and I was on TikTok live with my old TikTok account. And yeah, that was funny. Another story I have, I think this may be the last story because it's a little bit long, but this is how I met like one of my new bus buddies. That's what I call them, and I love him or them very much. I love them very much. Best person in the world, I swear, but sometimes they bare their fangs at anyone and everyone, like me. Anyways, so they have like audio sensitivity, and we were on the bus. I was sitting alone, and the bus breaks down, and everyone was like freaking out. The 8th graders were going wild once again, and I'm just like, whoa, bro, please. And like, I didn't know, but like, I didn't know my friend at the time. Let's call them Jax, because I may talk about them quite a bit. They're very close to me. Jax was like over there, and we all like got out the bus. The bus driver was screaming at the 8th grade kids who got out from the back when we were meant to go from the front. And Jax was like, I knew Jax because sometimes I would tease my little sister, and Jax really wanted to be friends with my little sister, which I don't mind, and I thought it was kind of cute. And also, like, we were friends with the same person, let's say Caden? I don't know. So anyways, Jax went up to me, and I didn't know Jax had horrible anxiety, so props to him for coming up to me and being the man to befriend me. I don't know how, but I'm very grateful that they did do that. And anyways, I was chilling out, and Jax is like, hey, do you want to sit next to me on the bus? Like, and I was like, yeah, sure, because I didn't know how big this bus was. I didn't know if I would have to sit next to someone random. So I much rather have it be arranged, and like, I actually had a choice. And we got on the bus, and like, Jax was practically shaking, and like, oh my gosh, my dogs are barking. 1 second. Okay, so I stopped like part of the problem, so sorry if you hear dogs barking in the background. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, Jax was like practically shaking, and was like almost like on the verge of like having a panic attack, like, because he like has a disorder. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I like gave him a soft pat on the shoulder, and they leaned into me, and yeah, that was a nice bus ride. Ever since then, though, they have been like one of my closest friends. They're in like right now 7th grade, so I'm going to be going to high school, and I'm going to go to their bus stop, which I feel bad for, because then they won't have anyone to sit next to anymore, and boys and girls are not allowed to sit on the bus, which is so stupid. Like, bro, I would have been sitting next to one of my other friends, and I would have never really been lonely. But hey, like, thanks to that rule, I don't think I would have ever actually been that close to Jax, so yay! Live, laugh, love, Jax. These are, like, the stories that came off the top of my head, but I'm just gonna say, like, public buses can be wild, because I remember, I have other stories too, I think, but, like, public buses are wild because here's what I'm saying, there are kids, like, literally moaning, masturbating. Quite literally, a kid was masturbating on my bus, yeah, I know, that's why I said it may be a little bit inappropriate, but, yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Like, if you are going to have a kid in the future, I'm just saying, they may have to deal with that, sitting in the back of the bus and hearing kids, with Vaseline and hearing that stuff, so, yeah. Also, I was, like, one of the very few white kids, so whenever they made, like, a racial joke, they would remember I was there, and everyone would freak out and go quiet and, like, look at me in panic, curious as to what my response would be, but I was always chill with it, So, anyways, this is the end of the video. Thank you for listening, I guess. I will, like, be drawing Gojo next. Yeah, have a great day, and thank you for watching. I edited better this time. Bye bye!